live from the U.S. Open. How fun. Look at this video. Johnny Miller, 52 years ago, making history at Oakmont in a U.S. Open with an iron display. Rarely, if ever seen, and doing so in the backyard of Arnold Palmer. 9 birdies, 1 bogey in a round of 63, the lowest final round in U.S. Open history, overcoming a 6-shot deficit in the final round, the first of his 2 career majors. And oh, what a treat to catch up with Johnny yesterday. It is great to be joined now by a member of the World Golf Hall of Fame who shot the greatest round, not just in U.S. Open history, but major championship history, and he did it here, a 63 at Oakmont. Mr. Johnny Miller, how are you, sir?
Damon, nice to be out here at Oakmont. It really is, and to be on, to see a lot of my friends and reminisce a little bit. But yeah, that was a great Open for me, and the way I won it with the 63 at the last round sort of made it a rare win.
We'll get to the clubs and the handiwork that you showed that weekend just a little bit, but I want to talk about where your confidence level was in 1973, because you won in 71 and 72 on the PGA Tour, and you played well in the U.S. Open at Olympic as an amateur. You were low am, you played great at Marion and Pebble as well. So what was your confidence like coming into Oakmont in 73?
I was groomed by my dad and playing Olympic Club all the time, Lake Course, to win a U.S. Open. That was the goal. My dad wanted me to win a U.S. Open. And so for me, I had those sort of close calls, and I had a good chance at Pebble Beach. But yeah, I wanted to win a U.S. Open. That was the one I wanted.
You wanted it badly, and then you get paired with Arnold Palmer in his backyard, and you shoot 71-69. But what was that like? Because he had come oh so close in 62. He lost to Jack. He had a share of the 54-hole lead. What was it like playing alongside him those couple of days?
That was a gauntlet. That's all I can tell you. To play with Arnie's gallery. Arnold was fine. He was, you know, he had great etiquette and everything else, but his gallery, like if he made a 20 for a birdie and I had a 12-footer for birdie, the gallery would just head on to the next hole, you know, like, so I had to deal with that. And but yeah, I was not overly thrilled when I went into the locker room on I guess it would have been Wednesday evening and saw that I was playing with Arnold. And well, I thought I might win the U.S. Open, but it's going to be tough to do with playing with Arnie.
Well, you beat him across those 2 days, and then Saturday comes, and there's a story about you forgetting your yardage book. What happened there?
Well, the players today, if they knew what I had to go through there, they wouldn't even believe it, because nobody had yardages. I mean, the only yardage you could get is if you walked it yourself, which wasn't really too accurate. And you know, this is my little sheet from 1973 here, and like the first hole, it was TSLFB, which is T-side left fairway bunker, 6-iron to the front of the green and 5-iron to the back. That was it, you know. So I was able to work with that pretty good, but I was staying over about 20 minutes away with my wife there, and went out to the course, and you know, I was pretty happy, and I hit some balls and walking over to the first tee. I checked where I normally put you know, my yardage book, and it wasn't there. And I thought, well, it's probably in the front zipper. No help or no help there. So I was thinking, holy mackerel, you're trying to tell me my caddy, just so you know it, the USGA would just have guys put their name in a little, like a little bag or something, and you pull one out, and this guy, Lou Bodine, I didn't know him from Adam. I didn't know if he was a good caddy, and I asked him, well, Lou, have you caddied much? He says, well, I never caddied for anybody that broke 90. It's like, are you kidding me? Now I got no yardage on Saturday. I got Lugo team, and it's like, I'm out to lunch here.
You didn't have Andy Martinez on the bag that week.
No, I know. It was like, I'm not sure if the USGA was thinking real clearly on that one, but I'm not being able to bring the guy that sort of got you there.
So you shoot 76 on Saturday, and it looks as though you've played yourself out of the U.S. Open. But then on Sunday, you tell this story about hearing a voice about how you should be lining up in front of the golf ball. What should we know?
I went out to the practice tee and I was just sort of hitting away, and this little voice said to me, open your stance up. But not only do that, open it way up. I was thinking, do I want to do that? I thought, well, what do I got to lose? And so I hit the last about 6 balls that I had about opening my stance way up, and it felt pretty good. But as I was walking over to the first tee, it's like, do I really want to do that at Oakmont? I mean, Oakmont's so darn tough. I don't know if I want to try to go from right here, hitting it that way, to like that. You know, I thought maybe I'd take the club out back or pull it to the left or whatever, but I thought, well, I usually listen to my little, I don't know what you even said, almost like a
inner voice, right?
Like a heavenly voice, you know? And so I always listen to that, and I always do what my little heavenly voice tells me what to do. So I try to just hit a most perfect round of golf I've ever seen on a tough course. Just like every part of my game was right on.
Obviously, it still hits home with you all these years later. We know how much you love this game. To shoot that round here at this cathedral of American golf, why does it hit you so hard?
Well, I mean, it was, you know, sort of a memorable win. I mean, you just don't shoot at Oakmont 63 to win by 1. You know, it was like it was meant to be. But I had to keep that round going. First hole was like the hardest opening hole I ever played, and I knocked a 5-iron in there about 6 feet and made that, and then I knocked an 8-iron about a foot from the hole on 2. And I made the longest putt of the day on 3, about a 20-footer, and then almost made eagle on 4 out of the bunker, about this far from the hole. And I did what a lot of people do, the kiss of death, thinking, okay, 4 under after 4 hours, 6 back, I got a chance to win. And the hair, the back of my neck sort of stood up, and I started choking a little bit. You know, I never choked tee to green. I would choke with my putter, and I missed some short putts on number 5 and 6, and 3-putted number 8 from underneath the hole. And that round of golf hit every green in regulation. Average birdie putt was like 15 feet, 18 times, and it was just ball striking wise. Only missed 1 fairway by about this far on number 12, I mean, and sort of an easy 63 the way I hit the ball. I never had a downhill putt but 1 time.
You say the word easy, then I look at these golf clubs sitting in front of us and look at the size of this head and look at that 4-iron compared to today's equipment, and I think, and I've been out on this golf course, how did you do that with those clubs on this course?
Well, you know, the sweet spot about the size of a quarter, and you didn't hit it there, you were going to be short of the green or left or right. But I was always a good iron player. Even when I was 10, 12 years old, if I hit a shot with a 5-iron more than 10 feet offline, I was not happy. So it was, and I played great courses, you know, San Francisco Club, and Olympic Club, and Lake Course in the ocean, and played junior golf all the time, and I was just a really accurate iron player, and if I could get my driver in the fairway, I had a chance, you know, because I could hit the ball closer to the hole, I think, than in my prime than anybody else on tour.
Johnny, I love how you use the word heavenly voice, because I think that heavenly voice followed you from inside the ropes to the broadcast booth. We were fortunate to have on this set Mike Tirico, Dan Hicks, and Mark Rolfing, and we reflected on Tiger in 2000, and they were giving you so much credit for on that Thursday after Tiger got up and down on 14. You said, I think something ridiculous, magical, special is going to happen. He's going to break all the records. How did you have that premonition that, like you, Tiger would do something unprecedented at the U.S. Open?
Well, the day before, I was standing on hole 16 at Pebble, and Tiger came up to the tee to hit as a practice round, and I could just feel his aura that was so amazing. I was thinking, there's nobody who's going to win this thing. He's like on fire right now. And as it turned out, you know, when Dan asked me, well, what do you think his chances are? I was like, well, not only are the chances, he's going to break a bunch of USGA records and win this thing running away. So nobody knew that he was going to putt like heavenly putting.
No doubt. And as we wrap this up, Johnny, we're back here at Oakmont. The rough is up. The greens are fast. It feels like an old school, old-fashioned U.S. Open. What are your thoughts on just how the golf course is presenting itself this week in terms of its toughness? It feels a little like the 1970s. Yeah,
the rough is really tough. There's no doubt about that. And but the greens here have been soft. So if you're really hitting the ball really well, you get in the fairway real well, and the greens are so pure, because you get a 10, 12-foot putt, you're going to make it most of the time, these guys. So, but the trouble is trying to get to that 12-foot putt is pretty tough. So, but it's doable, but you have to play great golf, and you have to be accurate, and you gotta be able to keep the pedal down. That's what I did when I shot 63, is I just when I got it going in my career, I was going for it every time. I know there's no laying up, or I hope I can keep my lead. I was trying to, if I had a 4-shot lead, I wanted it to be 6 shots. So I guess that was my forte, so to speak, is to keep playing green light specials, and you know, if you had a good lie and a good spot in the fairway, knock the flag down. That day, I only shot away from the flag one time all day. And that was on number 16, which I didn't have a club for that shot. It's a long par 3. But the rest of the time I was pin flag hunting. And I think that's, you know, if you're going to get in the Hall of Fame, you got to be good at something. So that was sort of my thing that I did pretty well.
Final round 63 at Oakmont Country Club. The final round of a U.S. Open. No one hit it pure. No one did it better. Johnny, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. Great to be with you.
We gotta love Oakmont.
You sure did. It loved you back. Johnny Miller, American original, back at Oakmont. His spike marks are in the locker room in this very clubhouse. His footprints will live on these grounds forever.